Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee Books and Rain, where we are trying to stay warm. It is quite cold. I did have a big hoodie on earlier, but I took it off just so I could be semi-cute for you guys. I do have this cute little pocket right here. Hang on, put my phone in there. So I have a nice little pocket. It's a dress, so it's got unicorns all over it too. So I'm not gonna like pull it up and show you, but it's got like these cute little unicorns all over it. Kind of remind me of like My Little Ponies. But I picked it up online and I love it so much. I ended up getting this plus like two different sweaters and I love them. Like one of the sweaters has like planets all over it and somebody saw it and they're like, oh, ornaments. And I was like, no, they're actually planets, so I can wear them all year round. But I live in Rocket City, which is Huntsville, Alabama, and so planets makes sense, right? Is NASA is just literally right down the street. We have the Space Center down the way as well. So if I want to go watch a cocktails and cosmos sort of thing, I can go do that, or I can go wander around our space museum, and that's super fun too. I really actually like things, pretty much all things astronomical. I think astrology is kind of fun too, but when it comes to astronomy, like the stars and planets and all of that sort of stuff, I find it fascinating. But I don't know why I'm talking about that, other than the fact that I got that sweater and I live in a city with rockets in it. And I think NASA does build some rockets here. I think that's one of the things we do here. But anyway, we are talking about books, and we are talking about The Tinker's Daughter, Chronicles of Lusitopia #2 by Josephine Angelini. Now, not too long ago, we did talk about a book that's the first book from Josephine Angelini in the Lusitopia series. So I'm going to click on that real quick so I can just tell you what that one is called, because I'm just blanking on it right at the moment. But it was super cute, and I know I reviewed it because I loved it. I thought it was so cute and so fun, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to come back and read this one. And so let me just find it real quick, because Josephine Angelini, The Illustrated Girl, that is the Chronicles of Lusitopia #1. And again, really cute. A girl gets drawn into a book world, and more or less, she doesn't become the hero, but she has to work her way through. Pretty much through the story and change her ending, change her fate. This one is called The Tinker's Daughter and is Lusitopia #2. And it does look as though there is Ensorcelled, which will be #3. So as soon as I can get my hands on that, I will be reading that one as well. They are so much fun, and I like witty, cute, humorous, lighthearted, fairy tale-esque books, and that's what I get when I read especially these by Josephine Angelini. Now, I have not read her other works, but crossing fingers that if I get around to it, I hope that they are as cute as these. Now, I don't know, but I will probably be also finding her on Instagram. It does say she can be found on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and she loves connecting with her readers. So, I will probably go and do that as well to make sure I am part of that circle. Let us dive into The Tinker's Daughter. The Tinker's Daughter. Not the Tinkerers, but the Tinker's Daughter. She thought she won a pig, but this just wasn't that kind of lottery. From best-selling author Josephine Angelini comes a delightful, cozy fantasy read about magic, courage, and the power of an unlikely alliance. Perfect for fans of Olivia Atwater and Travis Baldree. Now, I don't think I've read Olivia Atwater, but if she's got like cute, cozy fantasy like this, then I think I'm gonna have to pick it up. Janara has been a good girl her entire life, and that's what nearly gets her killed. Being the only virgin for miles made her the perfect candidate for sacrifice to the village dragon. But luckily for Janara, this dragon is different. Off virgins entirely, opting for a pescatarian diet instead. Being the resourceful young woman that she is, Janara uses the opportunity to enlist the dragon's help in her quest to defeat Asphodel, an evil sorcerer who has decimated town after town in his march to claim the throne vacated by the newly dead king. With the help of her dragon, Janara gathers an army against Asphodel and his dark forces. But this dragon has a secret, one which likely holds the key to their success. And like most things in Lucitopia, it also comes at a price, one which Janara may be unwilling to pay. So this is fantasy, romance, romantasy, and young adult. It does release on December 17th of 2024. Is very, very cute and cozy. And it's only about 288 pages, and I think I read it in, oh gosh, I think I read it in a day. I was just enjoying a day off work around the Thanksgiving holiday. I will say one thing about this book, it that encouraged me to read it sooner rather than later, was the so there's two different dates in NetGalley. One is the day of publication, which for this one is December 17th. One is the archive date, which is the day they kind of go ahead and pull it from the device if you haven't downloaded it already. And even sometimes if you have downloaded it may disappear from your device. So I have the NetGalley app on my phone, but I also have the Kindle app on my phone because every once in a while I just happen to, like, NetGalley allows me to send it to my Kindle, and I have my Kindle here on my phone, and I have a Kindle on my shelf over there as well. Well, my Kindle is not backlit, and I need to get a new one that is backlit, and so I often read, if I'm doing on Kindle, on my phone. Well, Tinker's Daughter disappeared from my NetGalley app because the archive date had already come and gone. Happily, it was still in my Kindle app, so I was able to get it read pretty quickly. And very glad that I was, because again, I loved the first one, was very enchanted by the cozy, cute fantasy vibes of it. It is a very easy, light read with a little bit of magic, a little bit of adventure, running around, dragons and fairies and all that sorts of stuff. And then we come back to the world with this book. And it is super funny and witty. But I don't want to give too many spoilers. I think the summary for this one does a pretty good job of not giving away too many spoilers, and I do think that sometimes spoilers, I don't know, they give a little too much, or summaries give a little too much. They're trying to like draw you in, but then they tell you some of the juiciest bits. This one didn't tell you the juiciest bit, which comes along a little bit, and not even quite halfway. But let's just start with Janara. So she really has been. She's been a very dutiful daughter. She's been a very good girl. And she thought she won the village lottery for winning a pig. However, she was literally the only person in the lottery to be sacrificed to the village dragon. And so they have to give the dragon like a virgin. And apparently she's like the only one left in the village. And so even though she's like pretty skilled at some various things in town, like tinkering pretty much, she's good at building and she can really do quite a lot of stuff. She's the one that more or less gets chosen. And they're like, yeah, we're sorry. Yeah, we didn't tell your dad. Don't, like, you know, he'll forget. He'll like they're like taking her off to like be staked for the dragon to eat, and they didn't even tell her dad. They were like, he's just like back at home like waiting for her pretty much. And she's like, what, are you serious? It's so rude. And so anyway, she gets to the stake where the dragon is like about to come and like grab her or what have you, and she's like fighting, and of course she wants to get free. And then the dragon comes, and instead of like of course, eating her, he uses his claw to pick her up, and he like picks her up, and he's trying to pull her off. And I just picture it in my head. She's like, ow, 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 because he's like trying to pull her, and she's like, no, I'm stuck on the stick. And so he has to grab the whole thing and take it with him to fly away. Well, then he flies kind of to where his little dragon area is, like kind of a little warm spot nestled in the mountains. And there's like a lake. Oh, sorry, I thought my little puppy was making a noise. There's like a lake and all this sort of stuff. Well, there's not really a cabin or anything for her to stay in, but weirdly enough, she feels pretty comfortable with this dragon. She kind of hits it off pretty well with the dragon. And so she just calls him Dragon. And he doesn't try to eat her. He really is like not concerned. And actually, he goes out into the lake and he gets a big mouth of fish. And he brings her some fish to eat. So that way she's like not starving. And then he eats a whole bunch of fish himself. So that's kind of where the opting for a pescatarian diet instead comes into play. Is because I don't think that's a spoiler by telling you that he has no real interest in eating her. And he has not eaten any of the other females that have been also sacrificed to him as well. Because you do learn later on that the girls that have been put on these stakes either tend to run away, like get free and run away, or they wander back to the village or something like that. Like none of them have actually been eaten by the dragon since he's been there. So where this idea came from that this dragon needed virgins is unknown to anyone really. Well, as time progresses while Janara is with the dragon, a couple things kind of happen, and now we have to figure out. We do make our way to a village where everyone has more or less forgotten who they are. Their names have been stolen, so they don't remember who they are. They also don't remember who their spouses are. And Janara is one of the few who does remember who she is. So she's kind of learning with a little bit of talking to people what has kind of happened. And that's where this quest to defeat Asphodel comes into play, this evil sorcerer who has decimated these towns. Well, one of the ways he's decimated these towns is by stealing people's names, because then people stop fending for themselves, stop feeding themselves, stop taking care of themselves, because they kind of lose their ability to kind of recognize their need for pretty much self-care. And so anyway, turns out really cute. I love it. I give this a 5-star read. I would read this again. I will go out and read the next one that comes up. I had so much fun with the story. Again, cozy fantasy. So if you do like Travis Baldree like I do, I think this is perfect to follow, like to kind of fit into that category, into that vein. And it's not high stakes, so to speak. There's a little bit towards the end that's a little higher stakes, but I think if you think about it real hard and you're into the story, you can probably predict it, but that's okay. Like, I was totally fine with kind of a slightly predictable, like, everything gets rounded out nicely, and totally fine with that. I will just say, watch out for unicorns. Apparently they are mean, and so don't invite them to your wedding, just by the way. But anyway, I will leave it at that, and you will understand that reference if you read to the final couple of pages, because that is just something that I thought was really funny. I picture unicorns as being like probably pretty good characters, good as in, like innocent and pure. And I'm probably, of course, completely wrong, because in this particular book, the unicorns seem to be kind of saucy. They kind of seem to be like they may just stab you with their heads. So the Fae have to make sure that the unicorns don't go like feral on the rest of the wedding, I guess, guests, so to speak. But I will leave it there. I will let you guys go out, find this book, and read for yourself. I had so much fun, and I think I want to do a recap of my at least top five or 10 favorite books of this year, and this one may make it. I don't know. I still have to make my list. I have had quite a few books that I have really enjoyed this year, so I'm got to start making my list and see. That might be a pretty lengthy episode, but until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you'll like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next page. I hope you have a great one. Bye.